Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining in. We still have about 40 individuals joined us so far. We're looking for more members to come in, but we will not wait and we will kick off the session. We waited for about 5 minutes. I will appreciate if you can join a little ahead of time so that we do not end up wasting any time. We're very, very time cautious and we would want sessions to begin on time. Um, However, we cannot promise that the sessions will end on time as well. The sessions normally, because of the discussions, they get a bit delayed. So uh, thank you very much, all of you. How was the previous session, in your opinion? Has it left any impact, or in Sajid's terms, has it done any damage? So you can write in the, it was good. Good doesn't mean that it has done any damage. Has it done any damage? Has it made you think differently from before? Okay, still waiting. Muhammad Ashad says no damage. All right. Uh, okay, we want, uh, you know, we don't want some physical damage. We want damage in the way you think. It was a wow experience. Okay, definitely this positive impact. Great, great, great. Thank you very much. Um, Let me share a few announcements with all of you, and then we will continue our conversation. I will invite you people to share the findings, do a recap of the previous session, and then we'll continue with our today's session. And again, very interesting session. It has already been delivered for students a little while ago. Questioning techniques is what we're going to do today. Um, there is this feeling, and I'll be very open and honest about this. There are some, let me tell you about the way we have grouped all the participants so far. So there are two groups for students, group S1 and S2, and there are two groups for members, group M1 and M2, and one group for affiliates, which is group A1. So that's how we have distributed. We'll probably look at merging some of the groups, looking at the audience so far. We have a capacity of accommodating 500 people in a session, but we will not take it to 500, but 100, 150 will not hurt. We can continue to have meaningful conversation, good engagement, even with about 150, 200 participants. Um, Fantastic. So what I was trying to say was that going forward, we'll probably end up merging a few groups, and but then continue offering sessions at the timing that we are currently offering them at. So members at from 7 to 9, affiliates 7 to 9, students from 4 to 6. That's how we're going to continue doing it. However, एक आपके ग्रुप में और एक which is members group 2 M2 and एक students के group 2 में S2, अभी तक आप लोगों ने जो टीम मीटिंग वाला सेशन है वो रन नहीं किया अभी तक, राइट? सो प्लीज रिमेंबर that on, let me just very quickly share it with you. On Saturday, same time, you are going to have a team meeting session, right? Which will not be moderated, which means you will yourself gather. You will pick up one individual from within the group who is going to do the moderation. And I hope all of you have seen the emails that have been shared with you, containing the three tasks that you have to perform, the three assignments, and also the link that you have to use to join that day's session. So please note one very important thing, and that is that all your moderated sessions are going to be on this particular platform, which is GoToWebinar. All your unmoderated sessions or teamwork sessions are going to be on Microsoft Teams. And all the participants of the respective groups have been sent an email containing the three assignments, the three tasks that were assigned to you, and also the link to Microsoft Teams that you're going to use to join these sessions, to fit the session. So far, two groups have had the team interaction, the team meeting. And we, Sajid, myself, we sit back and we watch the dynamics of the group. We watch the messages being exchanged. And let me tell you, I was a little surprised once again. Let me share this with you, that the session that students ran yesterday was far more professional than the one that members were running. Yeah. So I was utterly surprised. I thought that members, being senior, being mature, will do it very professionally. The students will probably face a bit of an issue with challenging authority, etc. But it was exactly the opposite. So please remember, these are the dynamics that we are noticing. I mean, noting down within groups. Uh, it's a learning activity. This leadership role can be assigned to individuals on a rotating basis. So every team meeting session that you're going to do, you're going to just pick up one individual randomly, that everybody gets a chance to be a leader. Yeah, that's part of learning, and then follow the rules set forth. Okay, so that's what we will be. You guys will be doing on Saturday. If there are any questions related to the three tasks to be performed, um, uh, please ask me in the group during the chat after the session, once the session is about to close. So you can ask those questions and we'll try to answer once again. Now I'll repeat this announcement at the end of the session also, because there's still about 54, 50, 52, 54 individuals who've joined in. I'm sure there'll be more joining in afterwards. And this is an important announcement and you need to be aware of this. You don't have to submit this assignment. I mean, it is not a classroom activity. You have to perform, you have to work on these. Okay, so first of all, if it's about your 30-second introduction, you have to stand in front of the mirror, individually stand in front of the mirror and repeat this introduction exercise a couple of times. Watch the Amin Tufani video over and over again. Find, you can enjoy the music, but listen to each and every word that individual is saying, how he's saying it, how he's performing, what are some of the hidden messages that he's giving along. Okay, look at those. Okay, so Hafiz, Muhammad Yasir and Muhammad Asif, you said that there is no sound. Can others hear me loud and clear? Yes, yes, excellent. Okay, great, thank you very much. So ये थोड़ा सा कभी कभी जो इंटरप्शन आता है वो प्रॉब्ली आप लोगों के एंड पे भी हो सकता है, मेरे एंड पे भी हो सकता है. इंटरनेट बैंडविड्थ जो है, इट कीप्स मूविंग. So इसको थोड़ी देर के लिए just give it a bit of time and then it probably revert to normal. Okay, so मैं अभी आपको ये बता रहा था कि मैं ये अनाउंसमेंट एक तो रिपीट करूंगा और फिर हम देखेंगे कि क्वेश्चंस इस पे आते हैं तो उसको आंसर करेंगे. तो 3 असाइनमेंट्स हैं, उन पे मैं एक्सप्लेनेशन दे रहा था आपको. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल 30-second इंटरव्यू खुद प्रैक्टिस करें, लेकिन उसके बाद ग्रुप में जाके भी अपना 30-second इंटरव्यू दें, इंट्रोडक्शन सॉरी, और उस इंट्रोडक्शन के बाद देखें कि आपके नेटवर्क का साइज कितना इंक्रीज हुआ है, देखें कि क्या लोग उसको रिटेन कर रहे हैं कि नहीं. एंड दैट्स द ट्रू टेस्ट ऑफ व्हाट नीड्स टू बी डन. नंबर 2, योर Amin Tufani video, express yourselves. जब आप ग्रुप एक्टिविटी कर रहे होंगे, आपने वीडियो देखी होगी, जो मैसेजेस आपके जहन में आते हैं, जो whatever you've gathered from the video, please share it with others. दूसरों का भी पर्सपेक्टिव सुने. तो इससे भी आपको you will have a lot of information about that video. And number 3, about your competencies. So the assignment was, or the task was, let's not call it assignment, because assignment से ये impact आता है as if it's a classroom activity, इसकी कुछ submission होएगी, etc. At least not this one, but आगे जाके हो सकता है कुछ ऐसे tasks हो जो आपको perform करने हो. तो हम इसको activity का नाम देते हैं. तो ये जो third activity है, उसमें first of all, do it in isolation. Okay, so sit down, look at your competencies, bring out examples from your life, okay, and put them against each of those competencies. Then in the group share those examples, right, with all others. And I can tell you, जो members का group कल run हुआ था, उन्होंने बहुत interesting examples share की थी with each other about how have they implemented. For example, what change did the Amin Tufani video bring in? And Sajid, if he chooses to share, without breaching any confidentiality. So, Sajid, I hope will share, that instance with you as well. So, इत्तेफाकन हम दोनों उसको सुन रहे थे and really enjoyed it also. लीजिए जनाब. So, आज का session start करने से पहले, let me ask all of you this question कि आप लोगों के key takeaways from from the previous session वो क्या है? Okay, so हम build up करेंगे इसको, repetition नहीं करेंगे, which means I will give an opportunity to the first individual. वो जो कुछ बताएगा, अगला individual उस पे add करेगा, उसको repeat नहीं करेगा in the interest of time. So that way, in very little time, we will be able to explore each and everything that an individual, that any one of you remembers from the previous session. और प्रोटोकॉल वही होगा, आप लोग अपना हैंड रेज करेंगे, मैंने आई हैव पुट अ चेक ऑन हैंड रेजेस, और उसके बाद हम उसकी बेसिस पे वी विल इनवाइट पीपल टू टॉक. जो बात कर चुकेगा उसके बाद वो अपना हैंड लोअर कर ले ताकि जो नेक्स्ट इन लाइन है अपॉर्चुनिटी उनको दी जा सके. हसन ने ऑलरेडी हैंड रेज कर दी.
Sorry, I think we let people go for a pair break and start after that 7:30. So after intro दे दिया, they can think about it, और हम pair break के बाद तो शुरू करें, otherwise वो दरमियान में फिर break आ जाएगी.
जी ठीक है, ठीक है, हम ऐसे
अभी standard time for pair break.
जी ठीक है, 7:20 से 7:30 हम prayer break कर लेते हैं और 7:30 पे फिर इंशाल्लाह हम लोग रिज्यूम करेंगे. ओके, ऑलराइट, थैंक यू वेरी मच. मैं माइक्रोफोन्स अनम्यूट करता जाता हूँ. In the meanwhile, if you want to chit chat, अगर आप नमाज पढ़ के वापस आ जाएं, please feel free to unmute your mics. अगर वो unmute हो रहे हैं, अगर नहीं हो रहे तो please leave them as they are. I can explain what's happening there. या सर 7:40 पे बहुत ज़्यादा हमें पे वेट करना पड़ जाएगा, 7:30 पे रखते हैं इसको, और I think 10 minutes should be enough to say your prayers. आप लोग जल्दी से नमाज पढ़ के आइए. In the meanwhile, if anybody wants to chit chat, please feel
Hello, hello, assalamu alaikum to everyone. Anybody around to speak?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you, man? कैसे हैं आप?
Great. And how you got the
कहाँ?
opportunity?
Well, I've got the
Fazan
opportunity
Khan.
on. Yes. Hello, Sajid. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was thinking that some
It's
members
easy.
speaking to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello,
some
Salam.
people have access to unmute themselves. Most of them they don't. We are just going to reconvene.
Yes.
We are
So,
waiting for people to come back. Harun is also
yeah.
coming back from.
Okay. I already have my prayer, so that's why I just unmuted.
That, that's good, and you got an option to do so. Not everybody
Yes.
has got that option.
Oh, right, right, right.
But
That's why I was saying it's too quiet, so I said let's talk to somebody.
It's too quiet for
okay, over
multiple
to you,
reasons.
Harun.
There are people who are who are not talking, and there are people who cannot talk. So both
Okay, sir.
reasons. Yeah.
Right, sir.
Sorry, Sajid, you were saying something?
I can hang on then.
Now over to you,
No?
Harun. Over to you.
Okay, I think it's time also. Oh, all right. Okay, thank you very much. I hope most of you are back. In the break, I was also looking at some of the comments people made. So first of all, I've replied to the comment for it was about recording of the previous session. I shared the channel with you. जहाँ पर ये सारी videos upload हुए जा रही हैं. So you can always go and have a look at the previous video there. All right. So we were to talk about the previous session. I have seen the feedback, and so fine. People have said it was an excellent session. Really enjoyed. They got an opportunity to rediscover themselves, etc., etc. You can also see those comments made here. But let's hear it live from people, and I can see 3 hand raises already. So remember, incremental discussion करेंगे हम. We will not repeat comments which have already been made. So गौर से सुने कि members क्या share कर रहे हैं और उसके बाद उसमें add करें. So can we begin with Muhammad Hassan Khan? Hassan, मैं आपको unmute कर रहा हूँ. इस पर आप self muted हैं. You can unmute yourself and share what you have to share with us. और मोहम्मद अरशद आप ready रहिए इसके बाद. Muhammad Hassan Khan, if you're back from your namaz break. Muhammad Hassan Khan. Okay. Muhammad Arshad.
Yes, Muhammad Arshad here.
Please go on.
So, पिछले session से I think what I learned was this: the mindset. We need to focus on the skills. Yes, that's our tools, but the most important part was the mindset. And I like the comments that was made by Mr. Sajil about winning mindset. So when you go somewhere, go with the winning mindset. Don't go with the thing that you will save yourself from the loss. Actually, you are going to go get winning. So I like that one, and I'm trying to working on that side. So winning mindset is my takeaway from the session.
Great, thank you very much. और winning mindset ही था जिसके बारे में मैं बात कर रहा था. There were some members who took that message along, looked at the way they were approaching their professional work, their business, and then they tried to change it. All right, let's go on to Tehmina. I think Tehmina's name appeared. Let me see if yes, Tehmina Shahriyar. If you can unmute yourself and share your input.
Yes, I am here. What I learned from the previous session was about the opinions, that how we exist. And I actually believe that it's very important to know what other people are thinking about you and how you convey that message to the other people. Because it's all about those opinions, as Sajid said, that the value placed on you is according to their opinions based about you. So it works like that. So that was my takeaway from the session.
Okay. So why you exist? I think how के साथ अभी तक हमारी लड़ाई है. आज के सेशन में हम probably how को explore करें या probably आज ही इसको off करें.
Yes.
What and why? Yeah. So
Yeah.
why we exist? All right,
Yes.
great. Samina, you can go back on mute, and if I can ask Firoz Muhammad to unmute himself. Firoz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Ji,
How is
Firoz.
everyone?
Perfect. Thank you very
Ji.
much. Ji, what
The
was your
best
takeaway?
takeaway from the last session for me was something that Sujit mentioned about the perspective when I'm going to meet someone and how or what I'm going to tell him or what I'm going to ask him. The best thing was for me was that I can hire him. I just don't have to work from him. I can hire him. I can collaborate with him. I can work with him. That was the perspective that I never came across ever in my life, and that was the key takeaway for me.
Okay, so think out of the box. Think out of
Yes.
the limitations of possibility that you have in your mind. Yeah, so think out of that. Thank you very much, Feroz. Arbab Shaukat. Arbab Shaukat,
Can you hear me?
please go on. Assalamualaikum.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go on, please.
So my takeaway was after all three exercises, I believe that knowing your audience and how to engage with your audience is the most important part of the exercise. That's it.
Knowing the audience and how to engage with the audience. And
Yes.
Are you reflecting on the Amin Tufani video that was shared with you? I mean, were these messages taken from the video?
Not only the video, but I guess when you were referring to uh, presenting yourself, that it's relevant at there too. Because when you're presenting yourself to someone, you need to know
Okay,
what is the
introduction.
audience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
That's
Great. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Tariq Khan, I'm going to unmute you, and if you can go on, please. Tariq Khan.
Hello, can you
Yes.
hear me, sir? What I learned from the previous video that if you have the skill, then play or do it with a passion. It's okay to lose to yourself in the
Yes, we can
start.
hear you.
At the end, can you hear me now? Hello?
Tariq, we can hear you.
Yes, loud and clear. Please go on.
Okay. What I learned from the previous video is that if you have the skill then play or do it with a passion. It's okay to lose yourself in the start. At the end, the crowd will be yours. And secondly, if you have to win, you must have won the show. And the other thing which I learned from the previous lesson was this: consistent experience makes a reputation. That's why the Amin was a warm welcome by the crowd. So that's what I learned from the previous video. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome, Tariq.
Okay.
Muhammad Asif, you have your hand raised. Muhammad Asif. Tariq, please put your best. Thank you very much. Asif, please unmute yourself.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Assalamualaikum,
Go
sir.
on. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, sir. From last session, I have learned that we have to create wow factor wherever we work. Like this is the most important thing what I have learned in previous session.
So whatever you do, you make a wow factor. Okay, good message.
Sir, like we need to create competences. और खुद अच्छा काम करना है, हमने अच्छा काम करके दिखाना है, मतलब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को आपकी वैल्यू का पता होना चाहिए, आप क्या काम कर सकते हैं, क्या काम नहीं कर सकते, तब लोग आपको देखें और इंस्पायर हों उससे.
Okay, great. Let's move on. अच्छा, जो लोग अपने comments दे चुके हैं, please वो hand raise किया हुआ है वो lower कर लें. तो तारिक, आपने अपने comments दे दिए हैं, please lower your hand. Asif. Let's go to Azhar Bilal. Azhar, unmute yourself, please. Sorry.
Yes, hello Harun, how are you? I hope you are fine. And the big takeaway for me from last session was what Sajid mentioned, that we are the sum of three concepts: our belief in what we are ourselves, what people believe us to be, and the third one is what we actually are, and the ability we have to reconcile all these three elements together. It is very important for us to reconcile these, be able to think critically in that angle, that what we actually are and how we can improve ourselves. then only can we place that dollar value on ourselves and hope that other people will increase in their minds our dollar value, the value they believe of us. So that was the big takeaway for me.
Great. Thank you very much. Very important point. Thank you for bringing that up. I think
Thank you.
Everybody will benefit from this. Last but not the least, can we ask Maria Sheikh? Maria, I'm going to unmute you. Sorry.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, sir, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Gee, well, the whole session was very good. Each and every bit of it was cool learning. But so far, what I take away from that, the 30 seconds introduction, how can you leave a mark with your 30 seconds introduction? And how can you distinguish yourself from the crowd with that less than minute introduction? That was a big takeaway, and the video shared and everything was very good. I must say that thank you very much, AC Pakistan, for arranging this session for us, and inshallah hope to see the next sessions coming up.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you, Maria. All right, so for the rest of the individuals who want to share their thoughts, may I request all of you to start putting them in the questions dialog box so everybody can see them. Okay, so if you have something important other than what has already been mentioned, if you have something to share, please put yourself back on mute. I think somebody's left the microphone on. Please put yourself back on mute. And those who have raised their hands and they wanted to share their their takeaways, please type them in the questions box. So I've made it so that everybody can read the comments that you're making in the questions box. So Sajid, I think that was phenomenal. Quite a bit of material retained, quite a bit of material reproduced also, and good takeaways by members. So shall we move on to the next session today? Sajid, over to you.
Thank you, Aaron. Assalamu alaikum and very good evening. Just a quick one. The one I loved while people were sharing whether we managed to have done some damage. उसमें अरबाब शौकत ने बहुत मजे की एक बात की थी कि damage the ego. Definitely, I think that's the whole purpose. We have to damage that ego and we have to create new characters here. Or that's a process. Everybody has to decide whether they want to get along with that process or not. So decisions हमेशा आपके पास वापस आएंगे, फैसले आप करेंगे और आप उसको implement कर रहे होंगे. But to start with, आज हमारा जो major area है जिस पे हम लोग focus कर रहे होंगे वो है question formation. Just to give you a background, and I'm using a very generalized statement, by questioning, normally we challenge authorities. अगर आप किसी से what और why का सवाल कर देंगे ना, तो वो आप practically कोई authority challenge कर रहे होते हैं. और सबसे पहले जो आपने authority challenge करनी होती है वो अपनी होती है. आपने अपनी authority challenge करनी होती है, and that's where the ego gets hurt. So हमें क्यों इस स्टेज पे आके क्वेश्चनिंग और क्वेश्चन फॉर्मेशन की बात करनी पड़ती है, और बहुत से जो डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज हैं वहां पे ये चैलेंज उनका इनिशियल स्टेज पे नहीं आता, और उसमें बहुत बड़ा एक कंट्रीब्यूशन है ओवर द पीरियड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट वी हैव जनरेटेड. आई एम नॉट सेइंग it's a respect itself. The concept of respect which we have generated, that's basically limit our ability to question, whether we are talking about parents or we are talking about teachers or we are talking about supervisors. अगर आप यही चीज डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज में देखेंगे तो वहां पे आपको बहुत से यंगर एज पे, लाइक जो आपके जो फॉर्मेशन एज होती है, लेट्स से पुट इट अंडर प्राइमरी आपकी जो क्लासेस है, उसमें आपको इनकरेज किया जाता है कि यू आस्क व्हाट एंड व्हाई क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज दैट हेल्प्स यू टू रियली रिफ्लेक्ट दैट हाउ क्यूरियस यू आर. And over the period that create your mindset कि आपने ये सवाल करने हैं, and nobody feel threatened around it. So if you ask your teacher why she is late, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you are challenging the authority. अब इसमें हो सकता है पाकिस्तान में अगर ये सवाल एक 4 साल का बच्चा एक गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में किसी से करे तो उसके जो रिएक्शंस होंगे वो शायद बहुत फर्क होंगे. सिमिलरली जब हम इस तरह के सवाल अपने पेरेंट्स से करते हैं तो वो कुछ के जवाब दे देते हैं और कुछ की जगह पे हमें जवाब नहीं मिलता वहां से, and that's also one of a discouragement at the formation age. So people who are parents and who are into the parenting right now, just make sure you observe that phenomena among your kids. Are they asking what and why questions? Are they asking you those what and why question, or they are asking most of the time how question कि मैंने ये काम कैसे करना है? And then you have to try help them to create the right kind of balance. Or you start asking yourself to your kids that why they are doing whatever they are doing. So they will try to understand whether they enjoy it. And I'm talking about younger kids, like we are talking about people, the kids who are in the class 2, 3, 1, or even younger than that. They should be able to express if they are doing something, if they are playing with a car, why they are playing with a car, what they get out of this one. So they have to get to the concept of happiness, enjoyment, and contributions. So these questions will help. और जब वो यही सवाल हमसे करेंगे तो शायद एज अ पेरेंट हम समझेंगे कि हमारी अथॉरिटी चैलेंज हो गई, हम डिस्करेज करते हैं, एंड बाय द एज वी गेट इनटू द प्रोफेशनल लाइफ वी कैरी द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट कि अगर मैंने ये सवाल किए सुपरवाइजर से, और आप देखते भी हैं हमारे कल्चर में अगर ये सवाल किसी ऐसी अथॉरिटी से किया जाए जो कि एक सीट पे बैठी हुई है, तो दे फील थ्रेटेंड एंड दे डिस्करेज दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन जब आप व्हाट एंड व्हाई करते हैं. लेकिन यू हैव टू फिगर आउट how to articulate it that people should not feel threatened. They feel that you are having a more inclusive approach and you are trying to understand their perspective before you bring your own. To start with, मैं आपको पहला सवाल दे रहा हूँ, and you have to put that in the question box, the question tab. What are your 3 immediate challenges? आपके इस वक्त टॉप 3 challenges क्या हैं? What are your top 3 challenges you have? What are your immediate, I'm not saying in a 5-year or 2-year, आज अगर आप सोचें तो what are your 3 immediate challenges? So you have 3 minutes, start populating that question box, and I'll read some of them as well, and I hope you can see that on the screen. Yeah, 8-year daughter, they have more questions than we can answer. Okay, so we can see Feroz Muhammad says 1 is securing a job, don't have good reference. Oh, reference for the job. So what is, it's not the reference you are looking for. I'm not sure if that reference means that you are looking for a job. So what is the top 3 challenges? Lot of choices. Interesting one. That's a nice problem to have. Unable to increase my earnings immediately. Get the 6 digits. Toxic work environment. Lose weight. I would love to go that route as well. Economy at large. How it's your immediate challenge? Economy at large. How it's your immediate challenge? Financial constraint. Unable to figure out. Help give back to family, keep myself motivated, fear to speak in public, English, weak communication skill, ability to question, forget a lot, working from home, shrink job market, it's okay, so that's different perspective, be consistent, learning a new skill. ओके आपने मीन्स की बात नहीं करनी, क्योंकि बहुत दफा ना हम इसमें भी वी गेट कैरिड अवे देयर. सो गो बैक एंड रिव्यू व्हाट इज योर इमीडिएट चैलेंज. समटाइम व्हेन वी से कि जैसे इसमें 1-2 लोगों ने बात की कि माय इमीडिएट चैलेंज आई डोंट हैव गुड रेफरेंसेस. सो आपका चैलेंज रेफरेंस नहीं है, आपने उस रेफरेंस को जिस पर्पस के लिए यूज करना है, दैट्स द व्हाट यू आर लुकिंग फॉर. सिमिलरली अगर आपका चैलेंज, अगर आपने बात की यहाँ पे एक और, लर्निंग अ न्यू स्किल, why you want to learn the new skill, that's what ultimately where you want to get. So your challenge could be you want to improve your earning. That's a challenge you want to set yourself to, right? So what is your challenge? Try to articulate the ultimate challenge you are facing right now. What are your top 3 immediate challenges? So slow technological growth in Pakistan, for instance, data sciences is like a newborn baby in Pakistan since a year or so, or why it's your challenge. We are not talking about anybody else's challenge or a broader challenge. Don't go in a vague one. We are talking about your personal, immediate, top 3 personal challenges. Grow my business venture side by side, securing a job, stuck in terms of career growth, management of senior managers, have to report many bosses. Okay, if you are married, the challenge is compounded. Articulation of idea, dealing with difficult people. Okay, great. Find work-life balance in my there's no work-life balance. I think that's a very historical concept now. We call it the work-life integration. How you integrate that, you can really take it forward, both the things, life and work together. Because with the technology, it's not possible कि आप ऑफिस में हो और आपके घर वाले आपको कॉल ना कर रहे हैं, और इसी तरह अगर आप घर पे हो और आपके ऑफिस वाले जो है वो आपसे राब्ते में ना हो, ईमेल आ जाती है, मैसेजेस आ जाते हैं. सो इट्स अ मोर इंटीग्रेशन. सो वो उसके लिए एक डिसिप्लिन चाहिए होता है. Local tax laws, again, that's a mean to end. It's not the end, or unless until you will love to do that part, that's different. To manage my work and family. So again, it's a more disciplined thing. These days you have to integrate it. Okay, so now I'll progress further. Now, my second question to you, what you are doing about these challenges? If these are your immediate challenges, so let me give you an example. What you have done in the last 12 months to address that challenge. So the first question was 3 immediate challenges, and now the next question is that what you have done to address in the last 12 months, what you have done to address those challenges. Reading to find out reason of my existence. Good one. Opting 6-digit program is maybe last couple of weeks. We are talking about last 12 months. What actions you have taken, what you have done in the last 12 months to address those challenges. Participated in Toastmaster Club, online learning, crucial conversation, applied in multiple organizations aggressively for IFRS. Knowledge is have take various CPDs, send my CVs, turning off mobile after work, stuck in terms of career growth, created a business plan which you want to execute, started watching TED Talk. That's a very good medium, by the way. From a body language, from communication and knowledge, I think that's a very good package. Normally the videos, particularly under 10-12 minutes, those are very good videos जहाँ पे आपको एक precise way में पूरा concept जो है वो discuss करना पड़ता है. Learning social media marketing. Okay, great. Got enrolled in several webinars for improvement of my communication. Okay, so you are taking some actions there, right? So I'll go to my third question. Based on your last 12-month efforts or actions you have taken, what happened? What is the impact? So what? You have taken courses, you have done certifications, you have learned some new skills. So what? What happened? What changed? So you are more confident, Mirza Awais Beg is talking about, he's more confident that he's going in the right direction. Okay, workplace by handling new assignments, somehow managed to overcome the problem. Took this workload issue with my manager and he said COVID-19 and all us are crisis mode. So you have to cope with it. Some changes in my communication skills, betterment in fact. So let's go back to how we started. So we talked about the challenges, what the 3 top challenges you are facing, what you have done in the last 12 months, and whatever you have done, what impact it has brought to you. So again, आपकी 3 जो key challenges हैं immediate one, वो क्या है, आपने उसके लिए क्या किया और उसका impact आप किस तरह evaluate करते हैं. बहुत दफा हम बहुत सी एक्टिविटीज करते हैं लेकिन हम उनको मेजर नहीं करते इन टर्म ऑफ एक्टिविटीज उसके इम्पैक्ट को. तो ये जरूरी होता है कि आप जब एक एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं आप उसके कुछ मेजर सेट करें और उस प्रोग्रेस को भी साथ साथ लेके चलें कि आप उस प्रोग्रेस हो रही है नहीं हो रही. व्हेन यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग एट दैट कि यू आर मेकिंग अ प्रोग्रेस, ये बजाते खुद एक बड़ा मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ समबडी स्टार्ट्स, एंड आई विल गिव अ वेरी वेरी जनरल एग्जांपल, अगर आप आज डिसाइड करते हैं कि आपने वॉक शुरू करनी है, you might start with a 1 kilometer and you decide a target that आपने एक वीक के लिए डेली बेसिस पे कंसिस्टेंटली 1 किलोमीटर करना है. उसके बाद आप अपने लिए नेक्स्ट टारगेट सेट करते हैं कि अब आपने नेक्स्ट वीक 2 किलोमीटर करना है. So that's how we make progress, and then we start in a 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you will start looking at a mirror or weighing scale and you will start seeing a certain progress. वो बड़ी initial stage पे आपकी बहुत कम होगी, but gradually you will start seeing that. लेकिन अगर आप अपने लिए 1 किलोमीटर का टारगेट सेट नहीं करेंगे, यू विल नॉट हैव दैट सेंस ऑफ अचीवमेंट. सो वो जो छोटी छोटी मूवमेंट्स होती हैं जो आप अपने लिए खुद जनरेट करते हैं, वो छोटे छोटे जो सेंस ऑफ अचीवमेंट है वो आपने जनरेट करनी है बाय सेटिंग द टारगेट्स व्हिच यू कैन अचीव. बट दैट्स नॉट द अल्टीमेट थिंग. आई एम श्योर इफ यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ वॉक, then your ultimate goal is to have a better physique, I don't know, a better health, or it will help you to be a more focused. आपकी well-being के लिए ये चीज अच्छी है. So ultimately maybe in a 6 months or a year time you will achieve it. लेकिन वो जो daily basis पे आप एक milestone achieve करते हैं, वो आपको एक छोटी सी progress जो है वो एक sense of achievement देना शुरू कर देती है. So ये एक important element है. Right, अभी we can talk about another exercise जो अभी हम इसके बात करेंगे, लेकिन उससे पहले I would like you to watch a video. How many people, आप में से कितने लोगों ने शार्क टैंक देखा हुआ है? शार्क टैंक इज अ यूएस बेस्ड प्रोग्राम और अब बहुत से बाकी कंट्रीज में भी होता है जहाँ पे कुछ इन्वेस्टर्स बैठे होते हैं. जो पाकिस्तान में भी इसका एक एपिसोड था, करोड़ों का आइडिया. सो लोग आते हैं, वो पिच करते हैं और इन्वेस्टर जो है बेस्ड ऑन दैट पिच वो डिसीजन लेते हैं कि उन्होंने इसमें इन्वेस्ट करना है या नहीं. सो अरसलान महमूद, इफ यू हैव सीन दैट, anybody who have seen that, if they can raise their hand, if you can raise your hand if you have seen that in past, and I would invite you to share and explain others. Yeah, 5 Dragon UK is the same. Yep. Can you raise your hand and then I can invite you to, yeah, Arsalan Mahmood. Okay, now you can unmute yourself.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Ji, Arsalan, we can hear you.
Basically, Shark Tank was a program launched by, it's mainly basically comprised of different investors who were looking for an idea through which they can invest and actually realize their business and grow. Even Donald Trump was part of that Shark Tank program, where they invited different contestants, and each contestant had to go through different stages, and each stage had a different challenge. I don't particularly remember that, but when they were convinced with an idea, they would invest in that idea, and it was very rigorous. And there were also group activities, not just don't need to be an individual in there. So the teamwork, leadership skills, and innovative how the idea was multiple. It was a very rigorous sort of a program that actually help those investors, and you need to actually, and there were and if any one of them liked it or two liked it, so which one of the presenters you want to be associated with, like who do you want to be the mentor, basically, the mentor you choose. So it was that kind of a program.
Thank you, Arslan. Thank you for sharing that. So you can mute yourself, Arslan, but thank you very much for sharing. Harun, if I can request, if we can bring the video, not and before we get to the video, meanwhile Harun is bringing that video up, I want you to see and observe the questioning, right? The question and answers. I'm not talking about something which is obvious कि idea क्या था उन्होंने क्या चीज बेची. That's not what we are going to look at. It's great if you are interested, you can see that later. But right now ये जो 7-8 minute videos I want you to focus on that interaction and the questioning, particularly the type of question investors are bringing in and the type of response those investees are bringing in, right? So over to you, Harun, if you can just run that video, and you can share that link in the chat box as well. So if somebody is facing problem in viewing that, they can run this otherwise. Thank you, Harun. I hope you have seen that, and I'll give you 3 minutes now. It's 8:11 on my clock, so I'll give you 3 minutes. Somebody unmuted themselves. Ahmed Raza, I believe. We don't have mic. Yasser Khan, if you can put yourself on mute. There's someone else as well. Okay, thank you. Just I'll give you 3 minutes. Think about it कि आपने क्या देखा है रेस में और क्या questions हैं. Guys, if you can mute yourself, that will make everybody's life easier. Thank you. Mudassar. Okay, I got it. So if you can share, और आप में से 5 लोगों को I'll invite and I'll encourage people जिन्होंने अभी तक participate नहीं किया हुआ, if you can raise your hand and I'll invite you to talk. Meanwhile, you can start putting in your observations in the question tab. And then meanwhile, we get people who haven't participated yet. Please raise your hand, think about it, and I'll give you almost 40 seconds to share what are 1 or 2 things you noticed. So I can see Muhammad Adnan Salid has raised hand. Anyone else? And meanwhile, let me go through the question. Tough bargaining. So you have to go beyond the obvious. Zishan Majid, link जो है वो already chat box में share होया हुआ है if you want to go through that. So chat box में ये link already available है, and meanwhile I'll invite people who would like to share, and I'm gonna unmute you, Muhammad Usama. I'm gonna unmute you, so now you can unmute yourself. Muhammad Usama.
Hi, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. Initially, the way they enthusiastically marketed their product, that was quite an impressive way. They actually would have rehearsed it a lot because they were quite in sync. The next thing was the product that they were marketing. They already were making a revenue out of it. So they were not just pitching an idea, they were actually pitching something that they have already put in place. So they knew what their actual worth was, and they knew what they wanted from the investors, what they wanted in return. Next was the experience that they made out of the simple canned beer. They actually revolutionized the idea of the simple canned beer. The difference in taste, they actually placed it in front of the investors and made them state out that the product was quite different from the canned beer. Uh, the thing that investors did was they were actually skeptic of the idea. Skepticism is the initial what can we say, the initial approach of all the investors, because they have to either take a return on it, or they want to actually see it flourish, so they need to be skeptic about it. The last was the actual threat one of the investor made about the approach to the people, the general public, because he actually threatened about uh, he threatened that he can actually sell beer more efficiently and more he can actually sell it to more people, more people base. So these were my
Thank you,
pointers.
Samar.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And if I can request Mudassar Abbas Kazmi. Mudassar, you can unmute yourself.
Hello,
please.
sir, can you hear me?
Gigi, we can.
Okay, so in this video, I saw a man who was introducing his product, and he was convincing the investors about the quality of the product which he made through conversion of this through this machine. So he not only presented it, but practically he proven that the taste was different from the cane product. So and the other thing is that he was so confident, so he was answering all the questions of the investors who was sitting in front of him. So everyone was pointing out about his product, but he answered all of them and convinced them that his product is profitable, and he gained the confidence of these investors, and finally the deal was done.
Thank you, Mudassar, and thank you very much. Ubadur Rahman, and unfortunately, I misused my authority and I lowered everybody's hand. If you can raise hand again, who haven't spoken. So meanwhile, I'll request Abdur Rahman, if you can unmute yourself. Ubadur Rahman, sorry, Ubadur Rahman. Ubad, we can't hear you, but I can see that you have unmuted yourself. Okay, we will come back to Ubad again, and meanwhile, let me see. Numan Howard. Numan Khabar, if you can unmute yourself now.
Hello.
Gigi.
Hello. Okay. The first thing I observed that you cannot stand out of the crowd if you are not making any difference. So I think they have raised the difference in their product than the others. So it also applies to our daily life, as that if we are not making any difference than others, then we cannot stand out of the crowd. And the second thing, if someone is investing in you, he will definitely interested in how you can add value to their organization, or you can say any business. So these are the key points that I have observed.
Thank you, Naman. Thank you very much. If I can request Shwab Masood. Shwab Masood, you can unmute yourself now.
Hi, assalamu alaikum everyone. Starting with, they had a very positive body language and a very commendable self-confidence. The delivery of the sales pitch was brilliant, and they had the excellent command over the subject matter. They had a very effective slogan which actually synchronized with their business model. Normally, startups does not have one, or even if they have it, it seems to be very hypothetical. The slogan was very catchy, which was "Tasting is believing." Given the fact there was actually their sales page actually contained the sales of the beer. The business plan had a great financial modeling. They were very clear with their business objectives, and last but not least, this self-belief that their product has the potential of exploring huge markets, which helped them to negotiate the price with the sharks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Shoaib, you can put yourself on mute. Thank you very much. So if we go back, what we have seen, there was a video, and my request was you have to see beyond obvious and you have to focus on the questioning side. So if I give you my perspective of the video, so they used what and why technique to really introduce their I'll come back again. I can see more people coming up with the hands, so I'll come back again. So उन्होंने स्टार्ट जो किया था अपने प्रोडक्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए, उन्होंने व्हाट एंड व्हाई का क्वेश्चन एड्रेस किया था. उन्होंने ये नहीं बताया था कि ये साउंड वेव के थ्रू डेवलप हो रही है. उन्होंने ये बताया था दिस इज व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इट एंड दिस इज व्हाई दे आर डूइंग इट. सो उन्होंने कस्टमर पर्सपेक्टिव से लेके मार्केट साइजिंग तक और प्रोडक्ट के जो गैप्स थे उसकी बात की थी. उसके बाद जो इन्वेस्टर्स थे व्हेन दे वुड लाइक टू अंडरस्टैंड द प्रोडक्ट, उन्होंने भी ज्यादा टाइम जो स्पेंड किया, अगर आप इस क्वेश्चनिंग को दोबारा देखें तो उन्होंने व्हाट एंड व्हाई के जोन में रहे वो. सो दैट्स हाउ दे वर ट्राइंग टू प्रॉब एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि इनका बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है, ये लोग कौन है. ठीक है, दो चीजें ना, एक तो प्रोडक्ट और बिजनेस मॉडल है, दूसरा दे आर ट्राइंग टू बिकम मोर कंफर्टेबल अराउंड द पीपल, बिकॉज एंड ऑफ द डे यू डोंट इन्वेस्ट इन द बिजनेस, यू इन्वेस्ट इन पीपल. सो उन्होंने भी जब व्हाट और व्हाई के क्वेश्चंस की टेक्निक यूज की थी थ्रू आउट to really understand and probe the product and what the investee is trying to sell them. So अगर आप इस वीडियो को दोबारा देखें beyond the obvious कि कौन सी product थी, क्या था, so you will see that there were certain techniques which were used in the entire communication, and that communication, if you go, that was engaging. बिकॉज वो ह्यूमन नेचर को, ह्यूमन साइकोलॉजी के उन एरियाज को हिट कर रहे थे जिसपे आपका इंटरेस्ट गेज कर देते हैं. अगर वो डे वन पे उसकी डिटेल में लेके जाते कि, या उसका स्टार्ट ये लेते कि यहाँ से मैं शुरू हुआ, उसके बाद मैं यहाँ गया, फिर मैंने ये प्रोडक्ट बनाई, उसमें फिर ये टेक्निक मैंने यूज की, वो सारा हाउ एक्सप्लेन करते तो दे माइट हैव लॉस्ट द इन्वेस्टर या उनका इंटरेस्ट लेवल. लेकिन उन्होंने व्हाट एंड व्हाई पे फोकस किया एंड दे क्रिएटेड सर्टेन इंटरेस्ट लेवल फ्रॉम द इन्वेस्टर. और इन्वेस्टर ने भी जब प्रॉब करता था, कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल वो जनरेट करता था अपने लिए, सो दे हैव आल्सो यूज्ड द व्हाट एंड व्हाई क्वेश्चंस टू रियली गेन दैट नॉलेज. ठीक है, सो इस चीज को जहन में रखिए. एज अ प्रोफेशनल अकाउंटेंट आपका कोर रोल है टू डेवलप इंडिपेंडेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव ओपिनियंस फॉर योरसेल्फ. ओपिनियन डेवलप करने के दो ही तीन तरीके होते हैं, जैसे हमने बात की थी लास्ट टाइम कि इट्स नॉट द रियलिटी, दीज आर द ओपिनियंस बेस्ड ऑन व्हिच वी पुट अ वैल्यू. सो ओपिनियन डेवलप करने के दो तीन तरीके होते हैं. एक तरीका ये होता है कि आप वो नॉलेज गेन करते हैं विद योर व्हाट एंड व्हाई क्वेश्चन एंड अ लिटिल बिट ऑन अ हाउ क्वेश्चन, बट व्हाट एंड व्हाई आर द कोर क्वेश्चंस जिसकी बेस पे आप वो नॉलेज गेन करते हैं. और फिर आप उस नॉलेज को इवैल्यूएट करते हैं, एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं, अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं और एक ओपिनियन फॉर्म करते हैं. और उसके बाद वो ओपिनियन आप एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, कम्युनिकेट करते हैं या डिसीजन लेते हैं और डिसीजन कम्युनिकेट करते हैं. और दूसरा तरीका, अगेन जैसे हमने लास्ट सेशन में बात की थी कि आपके नेटवर्क और आपकी रेपुटेशन की बेस पे आपके मुतालिक एक ओपिनियन डेवलप की जाती है. रादर देन आई गो एंड आई डू एवरीथिंग बाय माई सेल्फ, I'll just ask my trusted network partner कि मैं उसकी क्या ओपिनियन है, and I'll use his or her opinion to build mine. लेकिन आपका रोल, जब आप एज ए इंडिविजुअल प्रोफेशनल अकाउंटेंट की बात करेंगे, तो आपका रोल हमेशा ये होगा कि आपकी अपनी ओपिनियन एक इंडिपेंडेंट और ऑब्जेक्टिव वे से डेवलप होगी. और अगर आपने एक ओपिनियन डेवलप करनी है, आपने एक डिसीजन लेना है, और आपका वो डिसीजन जो है, क्योंकि यू आर प्रॉपरली ट्रेन एंड यू आर क्वालिफाइड, और लोग आपसे मशवरा मांगते हैं और आपके मशवरे की बेस पे फैसला करते हैं, तो जो मशवरा आपने देना है that should be based on your independent objective opinions, और आपने जो फैसला करना है that should be based on your independent objective opinions, जिसकी बेस पे आप वो फैसला करते हैं। और उस चीज को थ्रेश आउट करने के लिए आपको व्हाट एंड व्हाई के क्वेश्चंस जो हैं वो एड्रेस करने पड़ते हैं। अगर आप ये क्वेश्चन एड्रेस नहीं करेंगे तो दैट विल कॉन्स्टिट्यूट अ प्रोफेशनल नेग्लिजेंस। अगर मैं दुनिया के किसी एक ऐसे हिस्से में बैठा हुआ हूं जहां पे मैंने एक सजेशन, एक ओपिनियन एक्सप्रेस की और किसी ने उस ओपिनियन या सजेशन पे एक्ट कर लिया, एंड आई एम अ प्रोफेशनल अकाउंटेंट, आई एम लाइबल फॉर दैट एक्ट, क्योंकि मैंने वो एक ओपिनियन एक्सप्रेस की थी एंड आई एम प्रोफेशनली क्वालिफाइड टू डू सो, और अदर पर्सन हैज एक्टेड अपॉन दैट। उसने मेरे उस डिसीजन पे, मेरी जजमेंट पे उसने या इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दी या इन्वेस्टमेंट डिसीजन अपना चेंज कर लिया। इफ देयर इज अ प्रॉफिट और लॉस, सो आपका उसमें एक इक्वल कंट्रीब्यूशन है, और अगर आपका उसका लॉस होता है एंड द पर्सन कम्स एंड सू यू, ही इज टोटली राइट, दे कैन। सो आप एक जर्नल ओपिनियन नहीं दे सकते, एंड पर्टिकुलरली व्हाइल वी आर टॉकिंग टू द मेंबर्स, अगर आप ऐसी कोई ओपिनियन देते हैं जिसके पीछे आपने व्हाट एंड व्हाई के क्वेश्चन एड्रेस नहीं किए हुए और आपने जर्नल स्टेटमेंट दे दी है, एक सेंटिमेंटल सी, इमोशनल सी स्टेटमेंट दे दी है, एंड somebody has acted upon that, आप you are liable for against the duty of care, और प्रोफेशनल नेग्लिजेंस का एक ये पूरा केस है, आपकी मेंबरशिप कैंसिल हो सकती है। सो जस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड योर पोजीशन, और उस पोजीशन के लिए बहुत चीज जो जरूरी है कि आपकी क्वेश्चन फॉर्मेशन और क्वेश्चनिंग टेक्निक शुड हेल्प यू टू बिल्ड और प्रॉब अ सर्टेन सिचुएशन वेरी क्विकली। इसीलिए हमने डे 1 में भी जब स्टार्ट किया था, ओरिएंटेशन पे भी जब बात की थी, तो हमारी सबसे ज्यादा गुफ्तगू जो होती है वो व्हाट एंड व्हाई के ऊपर होती है, क्योंकि ये वो सवाल है जो आपको प्रॉब करने में हेल्प करता है। अनफॉर्चुनेट सिचुएशन हमारी ज्यादा है, वी गेट कैरिड अवे विद द हाउ पार्ट, हम बड़ी जल्दी हाउ पे जाना चाहते हैं, और ये जो हमारी जल्दी होती है उसके पीछे जो हमारे पास नॉलेज होता है वो समटाइम वो बॉडी ऑफ नॉलेज बहुत वीक होती है, और अगर हम सिर्फ अकेले नहीं है, 4 और लोगों को लेके चल रहे हैं, तो फिर हमारे लिए ये चीज और खतरनाक हो जाती है एज अ मेंबर, बिकॉज यू आर लाइबल फॉर दैट। आपकी ड्यूटी ऑफ केयर है, आपको जो है वो प्रोफेशनल नेग्लिजेंस की लाइबिलिटीज हैं आपकी। सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड योर ओन स्पेस वेयर यू स्टैंड, एंड यू आर पार्ट ऑफ अ रेगुलेटेड प्रोफेशन। सो व्हाट एंड व्हाई क्वेश्चंस आर इंपॉर्टेंट। ये तो प्रोफेशनल अप्रोच की बात। अब हम आते हैं माइंडसेट के ऊपर। जब हम माइंडसेट की बात करते हैं तो व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो आपने एड्रेस करना होता है, क्या करना चाह रहे हैं, ठीक है, व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू अचीव हियर। जैसे अगर आप 6 डिजिट की बात करें, व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू अचीव हियर, आई एम वेरी क्लियर, वी वांट टू अचीव bare minimum 100,000 as a monthly earn 100,000 PKR. A lot of people put dollar there. I would love to see that as well. We are going for 7 digits, so उसमें हमें ये डॉलर साइन भी नजर आएगा। But right now we are talking about bare minimum PKR 100,000 per month earning. That's what we want to do. Why we want to do it? Because the market is willing to pay that, provided you can demonstrate a certain level of skill and a certain level of package in terms of the social skills, not only the technical skill, but the entire package. That's been your social skills, your engagement techniques, your questioning techniques. You can add value by becoming a part of that organization or team. और उसमें आपने ये नहीं करना कि आप एक SAP में आपका डेटा एंट्री कैसे होगा. This is not the question you are trying to solve. You are trying to solve the information you are extracting from SAP, what value it carries for decision making. ठीक है. So आप अगर उसमें if you get carried away with the data entry sync, that's important, very good. But अगर आप उस high end पे जो चीज पड़ी हुई है, what value that information has for decision making, अगर आप उसको address नहीं कर रहे तो you are missing the point there, because the organization look at you to address that side, not the data entry side. So आपने अपनी वैल्यू जो है वो खुद डेवलप करनी है और आपने अपनी वैल्यू खुद लेके चलनी। यहाँ पे उस्मान परवेज ने एक बड़ा अच्छा कमेंट किया है. दिस इज माय ओपिनियन, अकाउंटेंट डज नॉट गिव कंक्लूसिव ओपिनियन बट शेयर प्रॉस एंड कॉन एंड द डिफरेंट perspective of deal and let the investor decide based on the fact and associated concerns presented. That's a one role you could be in, Usman Pervez, but you could be in a role where you are the investor. अगर आप इन्वेस्टर के शूज में नहीं जा सकते तो आप उसके कंसर्न्स एड्रेस नहीं कर सकते एंड देयर आर पीपल हु आर डूइंग दैट फॉर लिविंग जो कि सिर्फ एक ओपिनियन देते हैं और somebody else make the decision and that's definitely a role और उसमें what and why के people expect that कि आपने what and why के answers दिए हुए हैं. For example, अभी जो इन्होंने बिजनेस केस प्रेजेंट किया था एक फॉर्म का अराउंड द बियर, up as an accountant you need to validate whether that consumer behavior really exists. So आपने उसकी existence जो है उसको validate करना है. So you will put a one tick for your investor, yes I have validated and in my opinion what they are saying is right, wrong or इस पे कोई आपके अगर further observation है you can see why people want that, उनके consumer behavior, what is the size of the market, वहां पे आप एक ओपिनियन दे रहे हैं. सो ये सारे व्हाट एंड व्हाई क्वेश्चंस हैं जो आप इन्वेस्टर के लिए सॉल्व करके उसको दे रहे हैं सो द पर्सन कैन मेक अ डिसीजन एंड इफ यू कैन सॉल्व दैट क्वेश्चंस फॉर अदर्स यू कैन सॉल्व दैट क्वेश्चन फॉर योरसेल्फ एज वेल. The investee determination and confidence and investor skepticism and for value of money, yes you do help them to address these concerns, again not by addressing how. If I know there is a market exist out there for a product which I'm trying to pursue, I'll figure out how to create that product. लेकिन अगर मैं एक product बना लेता हूँ और मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि what the gap exists in the market and why that gap exists and what is the size of the market, तो मेरे पास product जरूर पड़ी होगी और वो product का कोई buyer नहीं होगा और वो product हो सकता है market relevant हो सकता है market relevant ना हो, मेरे पास कोई इसका एविडेंस नहीं होगा और मैंने इसको कोई रिसर्च नहीं किया होगा, वैलिडेट नहीं किया होगा. अब इसमें दूसरा पॉइंट मैं आपको यहाँ पे रेज करूं जो अभी यहाँ पे बात हुई कि प्रोडक्ट का जो मैंने आपको बताया कि बहुत दफा हम प्रोडक्ट बना लेते हैं और फिर सोचते हैं इसका करना क्या है. आपको बहुत से आईटी प्रोफेशनल्स इस वक्त मिलेंगे एंड द यंग वन इन द मार्केट, और अगर आपने लेटेस्ट रिसर्च देखी हो तो जितने आपके आईटी ग्रेजुएट्स आ रहे हैं वहां पे एक कॉमन इशू आ रहा है कि हार्डली 10% ऑफ देम आर एम्प्लॉयेबल although they know how to develop or write a code, but they don't know what code they need to write and why, but they know how to write the code. So एक जो fundamental use case होता है उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं होती उनके पास, और चूंकि उनके पास उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं होती वो अपने कंज्यूमर या कस्टमर के शूज पे जाके अंडरस्टैंड नहीं कर पाता कि व्हाट सोल्यूशन दे आर गिविंग एंड व्हाट द प्रॉब्लम इज. सो प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट जो है वो एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट होता है while you are developing the solution. So what problem you are trying to solve and how many people have got that problem. So that's a what and why question for the business cases. And accountants are expected to guide the organization or anybody around them on these questions, and if the other person do not have those answers, you have to plant these questions so they start thinking in that direction. Okay, so यहाँ पे now I'll take a minute break and I'll let you absorb this one before we go to the next one. So मेरी watch पे इस वक्त 8:35 है. So 8:37 पे we will reconvene. I'll give you a minute. Form your question if you want. And design thinking is a very good way, Akib, Nahulla. It's a very good way to really do what and why at the same time while you are solving with the how. So that's a very good methodology to develop something new. Right. So 1 minute break. Try to absorb it, and then I'll invite more people to share some of their experiences. Mirza Westbeck, we are not doing anything. We are just trying to absorb all the information which we just shared. So we are giving ourselves 1 minute to reorganize in our brain that what we have talked about. हमने वीडियो क्या देखी थी और हमने उसमें what and why के questions क्या थे. So I'm on mute. So I'm giving you a 1 minute silence so you can absorb, and then we will come to the reflection. Okay. So I'm back now. My request to all खवातीन से मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है अगर वो हाथ खड़ा कर सके, so we would like to hear their perspective. खवातीन से इस वक्त दरखास्त है कि वो हाथ खड़ा कर सके, so we can ask them their perspective. I can see Mohsin Ejaz, I can see Mirza Awais Beg, Tehmeena, Adnan. Okay, so मेरी request है खवातीन से if they can come forward and share their experience. नाम के लिहाज से हो सकता है I'll be wrong, but अभी तक खवातीन में मेरा ख्याल है कि I can only see तहमीना here and मोहसिन अभी मेरा नहीं ख्याल पाकिस्तान में, और अदनान is खवातीन के लिए नाम यूज होता है. So, Tehmeena, if you can unmute yourself and if you can share your perspective, जो अभी हमने गुफ्तगू की, what and why की, can you share any example where you have used in the past? You can share any example you are planning to use it.
Yes, I also consider the same, that if you're looking to reach somewhere, it definitely has to be clear in your mind that where do you want to go, first of all, and why do you want to go there. It's not only a concern when you're giving someone advice, it also concerns your own life. If you want to do something in your life, you have to think whether you are going to be satisfied with that option. If I quote my example, I have been teaching students for over 12 years now. And although I have contributed a lot in that field, I'm a well known teacher, I'm respected a lot, and I follow the what and why while giving advice to my students, but I still am not satisfied. Maybe I selected the profession before thinking about the what and why, and I jumped on the how. Maybe that was where I was lacking that, and I realized that now, that I made the reason I was not satisfied in that profession was because I wasn't clear why I want to be somewhere and what is actually that I'm looking for. So maybe that's true that I need to work on that before deciding on what career I'm looking for.
No, thank you, Tehmeena. I think very, very valid observation and a very good example, I would say. Tehmeena, thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.
And I think we have got more Khawateen here. Can we request them to share? And I'll come back why I specifically I'm going on a discrimination right now. I'll share it later. But Khawateen, I need Khawateen to come forward. Harun, you have to help me. and then we have to spot them and we have to bring them on.
Let me see. I can only use my judgment.
I can name Nadia there, Nadia Hamid. Nadia Hamid, if you can unmute yourself, we would like to hear your perspective. Nadia Hamid.
There is Madiha Latif there as well. I think Muskhar Zahur may also be a feminine name. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
Nadia के आप दूसरा नाम क्या बताया था? If you can call them in and see if they can unmute themselves.
Madiha Latif.
Madiha Latif, if we can request you to come forward. खवातीन बहुत ज़्यादा लीड कर रही हैं आजकल पाकिस्तान में भी. The larger organization are headed by खवातीन, so please come forward. We need to understand and learn from you. We have got Maham Ashraf as well and Maria Sheikh as well. So खवातीन हैं हमारे पास.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Madiha Latif. Thank you very much for coming forward. So,
Assalamualaikum, sir.
What and why?
So actually, I just want to mention over here that I just got disconnected or मुझे नहीं पता like अभी क्या चल रहा था. So I just want to know okay, what question you are asking so that I can.
मेरा सवाल ये है कि आपने लाइफ में कहीं पे what and why की टेक्निक यूज की हो in past, or you are planning to use what and why as a technique to solve some problem, challenge or explore some opportunity. जैसे अभी हमने बात की कि what and why help us to gain the right kind of knowledge and bring clarity, और ताकि हमारे जो how वाला part है, action वाला part जो है, that is driven in a right way. So कहीं पे आपने ये टेक्निक यूज की हो या आप प्लान कर रहे हो ये टेक्निक यूज करने की in near future?
Sir, if I just can add my past experience before choosing ACCA, I was a student of BSc. BSc like botany, zoology, these were my subjects. So one day I just realized that I'm not made for these subjects. Why I'm here, and in what direction I will move by keeping these subject or by keeping these subjects in my mind कि भाई मैं teaching line में चली जाऊंगी. I wasn't made for teaching, or since then I just realized at that moment कि I'm not made for this profession. I'm not made for teaching. So I just picked up, like I just started exploring my options. Okay, what do I have? And I just got this ACCA thing, and I searched on it, and then I realized that I should start this. And yes, I completed it within 4 years, and now I am working. I was working. In fact, I have been laid off lately due to this pandemic, and I was working in a big group, and there I just I just realized कि yes, now I'm at the right place कि मुझे यहीं पे होना चाहिए, and I chose this line of field for myself at a very right time, but still there are few things in my mind right now that I am very ambitious about my future. I'm a very career oriented person, and I'm looking towards in that direction. And since then I have faced so many things, in which organization where I was working I have faced a lot, because people are saying that you are an ACCA, you are just a kid to us. I mean, there were so many chartered accountants, and they treat me like a kid, and you know nothing, and you, I mean, they just आपकी personality को वो crash करते हैं. मेरी उस चीज से, like, I mean, being an ACCA member since 2017, I tried everything to polish my skills to get the knowledge what they have. And in fact I got lucky lately कि मुझे एक अच्छे boss मिले जिनके साथ मैंने काम किया, and I learned a lot from him. Although he was also a chartered accountant, but he was a different kind of a person, and I got the opportunity to learn so many things from him. So even today now, if I look back, that I have faced so many things in my life like I choose this profession just to get to that position जो मेरा एक aim है, but जो current situation है, ये जो हमारी organizations का culture है sir, वो it's totally unacceptable for me that they discourage us that we are some kind of a alien or we females are, I mean, हम लोग किसी और ही दुनिया से आई हैं and we are not made for this profession. तो मेरा चूज करने का पर्पस इस फील्ड को यही था कि आई वांट टू ग्रूम माई सेल्फ, आई वांट टू बी देयर जहाँ पे लाइक मैं मेल्स को देखती हूँ. आई मीन आई यूजुअली से दैट कि आई वांट टू बिकम अ सीएफओ ऑफ अ कंपनी, ऑफ अ लिस्टेड कंपनी, यू कैन से इट्स माय एम्बिशन, इट्स माय ड्रीम. बट आई मीन इतनी सारे डिस्करेजमेंट्स आपको मिलती हैं, इतने सारे लोग आपको क्रैश करते हैं इस पूरे वे में कि आप सोचते हो कि यार व्हाई, आई मीन व्हाई यू आर हियर. सो दिस इज माय experience.
No, it's a very valid observation. And I'll come back to pick up on that later. But let's move on a what and why. But this is a very good what and why where you started, and now this is the what and why should help you to answer why you have to go through such a difficult times, why you are not getting the respect which you feel you deserve, right? So these are the questions which will help you, and then we also have to see from a mindset perspective what kind of mindset. But it's a very good story and a very good experience you shared. Thank you very much for sharing that. Can we have one more female, guys? Please, Maria Sheikh. Maham Ashraf, I can see you have unmuted.
Yeah,
so
now? Okay.
Yeah, Maria, Maham. Okay, Maria.
Can you please hear
anyone
me?
can go first. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, sir, this technique, what and why, helped me to choose my career field. When I was a student back in ACCA, and I was thinking whether to go for finance or whether to go for an audit field. So I applied this technique, and then today it really helped me out coming to be a better auditor and coming forward with this field. And applying this technique has led me to be a good auditor and taking on long. So I would say that wherever you are stuck or you're confused or you want to go ahead, you need to apply this what and why. Why, what is audit and why I need to be an auditor, how I can better give being an auditor, and what it would relate if I become an auditor and go ahead with this. So it really helped me out. Thank you very much. This was.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much. And if I can request Maham, and then I'll brief you why I was asking Khawateen ke wo apna ek experience share kar sake. Maham.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, please.
Okay, so basically, starting from the time of F5, what and why, if I think I can apply what and why in my life, or especially in my career, when I was in F5, I remember the time I really liked studying costing all the time. So, and then when I came into F7, I realized at that point of time that if I want to get into practical field, I should choose costing instead of or management accounting instead of getting into financial accounting. But then I took it as an aim. I remember I was in P6 and P7 when I got an offer to teach on weekends as a visiting faculty at Alhamd. Plus, I was working at Idnis Motor in costing, so it was a complete package. I taught costing. I worked in costing section for like 2 years, but then I realized that I was so much into costing that I completely forgot all the accounting standards and everything that I should stay in touch with. So then I thought I should go on a switch in field, and now it's been like 1 year that I switched my field from Indus Motors costing to another big name of organization, Engro, and I'm working as an accounts officer there for like it's been like 10 months already, and I'm actually enjoying that. I've learned a lot. I've actually despite the fact it was really difficult to switch the field completely, but now I realize that being an accountant or being an ACCA when you come into the field, especially in Pakistan, especially in bigger organizations, there are so many times when you realize that I don't know whether I should, talk on this or not, but being in ACCA, you get neglected at times too, especially in terms of growth. They are completely clear at your face. Even in the interviews, I've actually, faced the fact that the interviewer had completely told me that being an ACCA, I think you might not get complete growths in terms of, earnings or in terms of designations. So then after being an ACCA member, I'm actually planning to get into ICW just because of that reason. Okay, if I realize I've done costing a lot, I've been into financial accounting, and I'm actually growing in terms of learning all the time. It's been like 4 years in this practical world.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. So let me first share why I requested specifically Khawateen ke liye. I think in journal we are a very young membership. We are still like हमारे members जो हैं वो under 29 हैं, where the rest of the world have got a membership. Average member age जो है वो 40s or late 40s तक जाती है. That's how the most of them. We are looking at the observation where people have deployed a certain techniques. They can really share their experience and they can share their observation. और ख़वातीन की by nature somehow ये जो quality है observation की और emotional connection with the environment to understand the what and why is way superior compared to most of the men. I'm not saying everybody, but most of the time. और इसका एक बहुत बड़ा reason ये होता है कि particularly people like the who have already in a family and they have got kids, so they always think about कि उनका बच्चा क्या कर रहा है और क्यों कर रहा है. ये एक thought process है जो overall develop होता चला जाता है over the period, and they deploy that in a very good way, even raising kids side of it. So I was trying to draw on that particular experience, my experience with working with female, that their observation normally help us to understand the situation better. And now let me come back to that issue. That's a very common issue when we talk about that कि ICAP members जो हैं वो sometimes they don't treat you the way you want them to treat you, या आपको वो respect नहीं मिलती जो आप समझते हैं आप deserve करते हैं, right? For 2 or 3 reasons जो मेरी अभी तक observations में आए हैं. सबसे पहले कि you don't carry yourself as a brand. अगर मैं आपको ये बताऊं कि आप किसी काम के नहीं हैं और आप बहुत लो लेवल है, I'll accept that and I'll start getting into that mindset कि यार मुझे तो कुछ करना है, कुछ नया कुछ मजीद क्वालिफिकेशन एक्वायर करनी है ताकि वो मेरी रिस्पेक्ट करें ना करें, उस क्वालिफिकेशन की रिस्पेक्ट करें. एंड लेट मी गिव यू दैट फीडबैक. जो आपने ACCA में नॉलेज बिल्ड किया हुआ है, आप आज जाके ICAP, ICMAP, ICW, and you pick up any other certification, qualification, or masters for that matter. It's just like कि आप मैट्रिक एक दफा दोबारा करने लगे, and then you are going to expect कि लोग अब आपको इसलिए रिस्पेक्ट करेंगे क्योंकि आपने वो डिग्री ले ली है जो उन्होंने आपको बताया था is more respectful than you. So हमारा response generally, and I'll come back, there is a certain situation जो बिल्कुल है हमारे historically a lot of members have shown a very casual behavior and they are very young and based on their own early stage of career वो शायद demonstrate नहीं कर पाए उस तरह का skill set which can help you, और उस तरह का attitude और उस तरह की personalities which can help you to really leverage on that brand, where some other qualification, and because they have got a senior members there now, उनकी average ages ज़्यादा हैं, so जो journal experience वहाँ पे exist करता है, वहाँ पे लोगों का एक बेहतर experience exist करता है with that particular qualification as we speak, जहाँ पे आपको ये problems आएगी. लेकिन at the same time, we have got members who haven't picked up that कि मैंने एक दूसरी qualification पे जाना है. There are members who said, no, it's not about the qualification, it's about I need to demonstrate that who I am. So I should not be judged based on an X qualification or Y qualification, and I'll not allow anybody to really undermine the position just because of the difference of the degrees. I would like them and challenge them based on the merit of the value I can deliver or the other person can deliver. And then you have to be very bold. People do respond to a bold move. They do respond to a winner attitude. अगर आप अपने आप को खुद अपनी नजर में नीचे ले जाएंगे and you're try to build an opinion of other based not based on who you are but based on a qualification or a certificate, that's not gonna work. आप आज इसको करेंगे, कल एक बंदा आके आपको एक डिफरेंट बात कहेगा कि I respect somebody more because process, and you have to really demonstrate that what the value you as an individual can deliver regardless of the qualification. And I think Muskan Zahoor, I would you can unmute yourself, Muskan. You have raised hand, and Muskhar, sorry.
Sorry to pronounce it again. My name is Musakhar Zahoor, and I would like to endorse. Yes. And
you would like to endorse what? Sorry, we lost
your statement. Basically, I like to होते हैं उधर brand name itself, the people who are working on it, not the qualification. बेसिकली जो इस स्टेज पे पहुंचने के लिए एक हमारे टीचर ने बात की थी ड्यूरिंग माय एसीसी क्वालिफिकेशन कि आपको क्वालिफिकेशन एक रेसिंग लाइन में खड़ा कर देती है लेकिन उसके बाद दौड़ना आपने है। तो अगर मैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस की बात करूं तो मुझे आज तक ये चैलेंज नहीं आया, ऑल्दो मैं शायद जिधर काम कर रहा हूं उधर मेरे साथ एक दो और एसीसी होंगे, बाकी सारे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं, लेकिन मेरा ख्याल है कि मेरा ब्रांड नेम इटसेल्फ उनसे ज्यादा बेहतर है। आई एम टॉप 2 to 3 एम्प्लॉइज जो है ना स्ट्रेटेजिक लेवल पे काम कर रहे हैं, और मेरा एक्सपीरियंस इतना ज्यादा नहीं है ओवरऑल अगर मैं ईयर्स में बात करूं, और मैं एक बड़े ब्रांड नेम कंपनी के भी बड़े ब्रांड नेम के साथ काम कर रहा हूं। तो बेसिकली ये है, मैं आपकी बात को इंडोर्स कर रहा हूँ कि ऑलवेज ये नहीं होता कि आपको किसी क्वालिफिकेशन की वजह से पीछे कर दिया जाए। आप अगर अपनी स्किल्स को शो कर सकते हैं तो आप आगे भी जा सकते हैं, और वो सारा कुछ एसीसी प्रोवाइड करता है जो बाकी दूसरी क्वालिफिकेशन जो है सीए आई कैप है या आईसीडब्ल्यू है। तो बिल्कुल आपकी जिस तरह के दोबारा मैट्रिक करना है, आई आल्सो इंडोर्स दैट कि बिल्कुल सेम एज इट इज। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Mr. Kurt. Thank you for sharing, and apologies for pronouncing the wrong name wrongly. I think that ये एक important element होता है, and I can see some of the people put some comment. Yes, but I cannot recall my example. Farwa Abbas. Farwa, if I can request you to unmute yourself. You want to share something? Usman Pervez, if I can ask you to raise hand so I can unmute you. And I can request Saddam Hussein to raise hand. Saddam, here you go.
Yes, the difference between the qualifications, as per my experience, previously I was associated with the ICAP, then I came into SSCA, so I have a bit of experience of both the qualifications. The main difference which I feel is due to the auditing firm's experience. Like I was admitted in PwC, I had been there for 5 years, but as internationally, currently I'm working in Saudi Arabia in a firm over there. Here, whether you have CPA qualification or SSCA qualifications, you are equal in the certification of an accounting, and SSCA is viewed as a much premium qualification as compared to others. So mostly it depends on the experience of the guys which they are getting. CA normally attracts much better talent, which I have observed. It is just my observation. It might not be correct, but the talent pool over there is much more brighter, and the experience that they are getting in the auditing firms. For example, I was in PwC. I supposed to audit National Refinery also, and it was a diverse one. FMCGs also, it was Reckitt Manchester, Dabur, Unilever at the same time, and no other SCCA guy was able to have that much experience. So the whole difference is because of the experience. If they have the similar opportunities, the knowledge level is almost the same. We cannot differentiate in that level. So at that point, we will all be at a same level with the same opportunities, I suppose.
No, thank you, Siddharth. And I think you brought a very good point. It's the quality of experience you gain during the training, and that is a key difference. And there are opportunities which are like coming from the big four, and there are opportunities coming from a big organization. But the biggest opportunity is coming from that performance objective. I think you have got those 22 performance objective with you.
Yes.
How demonstrate consistently during those 3 years on those performance objective, regardless of your situation. I do understand the people who get into the bigger organization, they might get a different exposure and a bigger exposure, but that does not restrict people who are in a smaller organization and can put the similar effort to get to that kind of experience in today's world. क्योंकि एक जमाना था, आज से 20 साल पहले कोई मुझे ये बात कहे ना कि मैं एक because I have got a more access to information and more access to the experience, that's understandable. In today's world, आपके पास internet पे, Upwork पे, और but if you choose to, and that's a key operative word, if you choose or decide to gain that kind of competencies and experience, and then you start reflecting in your everyday life, that makes a difference. और इसकी बहुत सी examples यहाँ पे exist करती हैं. So you will find a lot of people who have made that decision and they made the difference. So thank you very much, Saddam, for sharing that. And if I can invite Usman Pervez, you want to make a point there.
Sir, actually, first of all, regarding what I can relate it with my example. In my last role, I was reporting directly to the audit committee. And in my organization, we were facing some capacity issues. So I suggested about what we should do. I analyzed the situation that we were exporting in Africa. So I presented a case that we should move to East Africa with our plant so we can serve better. For this, why we should go? The one of the key reason I presented that we can have a better market reach and we can save significantly import cost and our overall market will improve. So that was what and why. And second debate, now the point started by a female member and then it continued that we face a problem from the people, criticism, toxic behaviors and many things, irrespective of the bodies and other things. It also depends that when you work in multicultural environment. For example, I am working in that situation. So initially, I also faced all these things. I think what can help you, that is quality of your thoughts, your positive approach, your patience, and the most important thing that you develop the trust among your peers who in fact criticize you. So I think gradually these things start improving, and now even with the passage of time, these relationship improve, and I I'm not now I'm not facing that much problem that I used to have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Usman. Thank you for sharing. And just going back and building upon Usman's point, I think in the life you will always encounter some kind of bias. And that may be conscious, unconscious bias, but it's always there. आप अगर पाकिस्तान में बात करेंगे तो शायद आपको कुछ जगह पे गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स में बलोची वर्सेस पठान वर्सेस पंजाबी वर्सेस सिंधी, आपको ये सारे बायसेस भी नजर आएंगे। लोगों को आपको वो कम्युनिटीज भी नजर आएंगी and how they can get an unfair advantage becoming a part of a communities. Just like you being a ACCA member, you have a one of unfair advantage because आप 7,50,000 के network का part है which other people might not be. But how you leverage that, the network, that depend how you create your own personal brand and the reputation, because you are a member, you are the carrier of the brand. So how you carry yourself in terms of brand matters a lot, not only for you but the people who will follow the similar path. जो आपके जहाँ पे आप किसी एक शख्स ने अगर एक मेंबर के साथ इंटरेक्ट किया है और उनका जो एक्सपीरियंस जनरेट हुआ है, that experience is the opinion about not only you as an individual but opinion about ACCA. Just like अगर एक पाकिस्तानी इंटरेक्ट करता है ग्लोबली, तो वो जो ओपिनियंस जनरेट करते हैं वो ओपिनियन सिर्फ उनकी उस शख्स के मुतालिक नहीं होती, उनकी वो ओपिनियन क्योंकि उन्होंने एक ही एक्सपोजर है उनका पाकिस्तान का, that's the opinion they carry. So that's bring a lot of big responsibility on all of us who are a carrier of a brand based on our community, how we act, react, and what kind of experience we are generating for others, how resilient we are, and how we respond to these kind of threats. So एक जुमला अगर आप लोगों ने एक प्रोग्राम नेटफ्लिक्स पे बहुत ज्यादा पाकिस्तान में भी देखा जाता है, सूट्स के नाम से एक प्रोग्राम है, दैट इज बेसिकली अ लॉयर्स, यूएस बेस्ड है, और उस पे एक बड़ी मजे की स्टेटमेंट होती है, आई डू नॉट और बार बार ये स्टेटमेंट एक उनके जो हेड ऑफ दैट लीगल फर्म है वो खातून बार बार एक स्टेटमेंट देती है, आई डोंट रिस्पॉन्ड टू थ्रेट्स, आई एम द वन हू मेक इट, राइट? सो how you respond to threat or how you react to a threat, that's a choice you make in your life. और वो choices जो आपकी होंगी उसके अपने consequences होंगे. For example, अगर आप मुझे threat करते हैं कि ये qualification बेहतर है या ये qualification नहीं बेहतर है, I choose to respond कि अच्छा मैं उस साइड पे चल पड़ता हूँ, I follow that कि आपकी ओपिनियन में अगर ये बेहतर है तो मैं आपकी ओपिनियन में बेहतर होने के लिए qualification acquire कर लेता हूँ, rather than responding it in a different way and ask for, let's say I can specifically ask for what shortcomings you see in me and how you can help me to develop, right? Putting it back and bringing them, it's a more inclusive approach to really engage somebody, because now they are getting in a mode where they can help, and their first reaction may be, guys aap logon ka to kuch nahi ho sakta, right? But are you willing to do the same for someone else? So there's another person who come and ask you for the help, are you willing to really extend that kind of help? So that's also an important element, because that's how the profession works. In the interest of time, I'll just go and I'll request, I just need 5 volunteers. We have a 5-minute exercise, a very quick one, and I need 5 volunteers or exercise hamari. Usman, if you can go on mute, that would be helpful. So the exercise is that we will start with a question, which is a what and why question, and then from that what and why question, we will build another what and why question. So I'll give you one example and how we expect the other person to pick up. I make one comment that why I can't get a good coffee in the morning, right? So that's one comment I make or one statement I make, and the other person has to come up with that. The second question, you can't answer why you can't get it. You have to bring another question there, which is a what and why question. Just going back to that example, if I come up with the statement, why I can't get a good coffee in the morning, the other question could be, what does good coffee look like? The further question could be, what the good coffee come from, or where that good coffee come from, not how part. You have to stay in a context of what and why, right? So what does good coffee look like? Why I need a coffee in the morning? What other thing I can use instead of coffee, right? So these are the what and why question. I just need 5 volunteers. I can see right now, I'm going to announce the name. I have got Saddam Hussain. Okay, Saddam is gone. I got Furqan Farooq. I got Saddam Hussain again. Muhammad Adnan, Mirza Awais Beg, and Muhammad Arshad. And if we can get one, and we have got Tahmina there as well. So guys, if you allow me, I'm gonna use 5 people, right? I know that there are more hands right now. So I'm gonna use Saddam Hussein, Furqan Farooq, Mohsin Ijaz, Azhar Bilal, and Tahmina. And if I may request everybody else to lower your hand. So Saddam, Furqan, Mohsin, Azhar Bilal, and Tahmina, if you can stay there, and the rest of the people can lower their hand, please. So we can go with the exercise. Thank you very much. So Saddam, we will start with you. You will put a one statement or one question, what and why question, or contextually it should be what and why question. Can't go in a how part. Then Furqan, you will add another one. Mohsin will add the third one. Azhar Bilal will add the fourth one, and Tahmina, you will add the last one. And I can tell you, the people who come at the lower end or a later stage, उनके लिए ज़्यादा difficulty होती है उसमें add करने के लिए, and sometimes most of the questions are already there. और इसके बाद इसका second part ये होगा कि we will start with Tahmina, we will go back to Azhar, Mohsin, Furqan, and Saddam. So first step, yes, Saddam, you have to bring out a question, and Furqan, you have to answer the question with a question, right? You can't answer it. So Saddam, if you can unmute yourself and kick off that one. Yeah, give us a statement, what and why question.
The question would be, what does richness means to you? Means
okay.
What is richness, and how you can say that you are rich or not?
No how question. No how. It's a banned word. No how.
Okay, sorry.
So what does richness mean? And richness, you mean like the material side we are talking about?
It depends on the person how he interpret it.
Okay. So that's rich mean that how you what does richness mean for you? Let's take it that way. Okay, I'll stick to that. So Furqan, if you can add, and Saddam, if you can go on mute.
I would say, why do you want to get rich?
Okay, thank you, Furqan. Mohsin, if you can add more.
What exactly richness means to you?
Okay, that's a question which Saddam started with, Mohsin. So can you change that one?
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you some clue. Like we can talk about that. What other things are out there to compare richness with, right? So you can go on a what else question. So I can go to Azhar Bilal, if you can add something there. The question started from Saddam. What and why question? Yeah.
Yes, I have to answer to Furqan, I believe now. He said, why do you want to get rich? So I'll add, why not get rich?
Okay.
What is against getting rich?
Yeah. So you don't have to answer anybody. You have to add a question there. So you are not responding. You are just adding, right? And if you can ask Tahmina, if you can share something around the question.
Why do you need to define richness?
Okay, good one. Good one. Thank you. And if we can go in a reverse order now, Tahmina, if you can give us a statement on a what and why, and then we go to Azhar, Mohsin, Furqan, and then Saddam.
By statement, you mean an answer?
No, not the answer. You have to give us a what and why question, and then we ask
one more question.
Yeah, anything, any statement you can give.
Why do we need to influence other people in life?
Okay, good one. Why we need to influence others? Azhar Bilal.
Okay, I would say, why not influence others? We should.
Okay. No. Okay, great. And if we can come to Mohsin, we lost Mohsin somewhere. Okay, if we can go to Furqan.
What kind of people you want to influence?
Great, thank you. Good addition. Saddam.
What will we achieve by influencing other people?
Great, good. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for participating. This is one way we try to build a problem statement with the what and why questions, and I can see Farwa is also contributing. What make people to get influenced from us? Why it is important to think about influencing other. So yeah, these questions help us to define a problem statement. और problem statement में जब हम ये सवाल करते हैं ना, we go very wild, and there was a very good question that wherever there is a positive question, then you can negate that. Why to influence, why not to influence, right? You put those challenges in terms of questioning, and these questions after some time will help you to put everything together and create a more and a very well articulated problem statement जो आपके what and why को address कर रहा होगा, and then you can start looking for a solution. So I would encourage people to really use this technique when you are in a brainstorming session. Use what and why as a primary question and try to build a problem statement, and then you can jump on a solution. एक मैं आपको अभी वार्निंग दे दूं, जब भी हमारे पास सवाल आता है, हमारी टेम्पटेशन बहुत ज्यादा होती है कि हम उसका जवाब दे दें rather than forming a further question. हमारी कोशिश ये होती है या तो हम उसका हाउ पार्ट बताएं या फिर हम उसका जवाब दे दें, सोल्यूशन ही बता दें. दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ एक्सरसाइज जिसमें सोल्यूशन नहीं चाहिए, अभी कैसे सोल्यूशन तक पहुंचना है वो भी नहीं चाहिए, प्रॉब्लम डिफाइन करनी है. दैट विल ब्रिंग अ क्लैरिटी दैट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली यू वांट टू डू एंड व्हाई यू वांट टू डू इट. और जब आप 4-5 लोग अपने आप को फोर्स करते हैं कि आपने इन्हीं सवालों में रहना है, दैट फोर्स यू टू थिंक मोर. The last item that I want to leave you with is the questions. हमने पहले भी बात की थी what and why question. Then what else is a very good question to explore the option. So what is a very good question to understand the impact, and is it the best I can do is a very good question to challenge your own authority. So try to use these questions and try to bring clarity in your life. Start with your life. You are the first subject you should be looking at, and try to build some clarity. And then during this session, we will try as a group, not only you alone, but the entire group will help each other to achieve that. So we will address the how part, but only if you can clearly articulate what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve, and then we will create a roadmap. We will get to the roadmap, but it's too early unless until we define the problem right and validate that problem in a right sense. It's very risky to get into the how part or a solution part. So thank you very much. Over from my side, Harun.
Thank you very much, Sajid. I think all of you must have learned a lot today as well. Definitely very useful session. So got so much tired of sitting down. I have to stand up and talk to you guys now. All right, so very quick announcements. Yes, we'll come to Maham. Thank you very much. We'll come to the feedback in a bit. Just a couple of announcements. Your next session, which falls on Saturday, and I'm repeating this announcement, is a teamwork session. All of you should check your inbox. You would have received an email from our side containing, number one, the 3 tasks that you have to perform, and number 2, the link, the Microsoft Teams link that you will be using to connect. Now, please remember, you have complete control over your microphone, over your camera, and over chat, etc. in that session. So use these 3 resources wisely. Number 2, we are going to let you take this opportunity to see how the session is moderated, to see how professionally you conduct yourself in that session. So I would suggest that either here or at the start of the session, please decide who's going to be the moderator of the group,
And you do that on rotational basis, which means you can have a leader for one session and another leader for another session. Now, before going into the session, I would suggest the 3 tasks that have been given to you have been assigned to you. You do that individually first. So 30 seconds interview, do that individually first, stand in front of the mirror and then perform and see if you feel that the people who are listening to it will remember you. Number 2, about the Amin Tufani video, very quickly review it, you know, and whatever the hidden messages are, bring those out. And number 3, the competencies, the Microsoft Excel worksheet that was shared with you, it is still there as handouts in today's session. So you can download it even today if somebody has missed it. So use this worksheet, look at your competencies, look at the first 4 competencies and come up with examples of how have you demonstrated those competencies. Once you've done these individually before the session, I would then suggest that when you go into the session, you share this with the rest of the group, right? And look at the feedback that they gave you, okay? Great, thank you very much. Feedback for today's session. What do you think? What was the takeaway? What is your feedback about today's session also? Okay, I think all of you can see the question answer screen as well. If somebody wants to unmute and speak, that's perfectly all right. Time management is an issue. Well, yes, a bit, but that's how it's going to be. Life is not as easy. Simple. Great. So learning from today's session, okay, why and what questions, how to answer a question with a question. Okay, so I think that's going to be interesting. Try to exercise this as well in the Saturday's session. Okay, so what and why, definitely practice it, use it. Okay, when you're listening to people, ask these questions. Okay, when you listen to people in the teamwork session, ask these questions. Okay, great. Next week, most probably, just because we're looking at the number of people who are joining our sessions, it's quite likely that we will merge sessions. So members session 1 and session 2 will probably be merged. The timing, however, I promise will remain the same. Similarly, affiliates and students may merge. So some students with affiliates and students with students may merge. So from next week, there's going to be a bit of shuffle once again. Please stay connected with us through those emails that I continue to send you. Do not miss out on those emails. Otherwise, you'll get lost. So I received a call from an individual a few days ago who said, I attended the orientation. I did not sign up for the GoToWebinar thingy, so I am lost. I didn't know what's happening. Okay, so that's important. You continue to look at our messages, they're definitely coming in. Please make sure that you have ACCA's email addresses added into your address book. Otherwise, they'll land in your junk box or promotions emails, right? And that's quite easy to skip important emails from ACCA. Please do not miss out on those opportunities. Remember the example we gave you, 45,000 individuals, and we have about 450 people here. Look how lucky you are. Please do not miss such opportunities, okay? Great, thank you very much. I think good feedback coming as well. Motivational, practical, helpful. Think better, yes. Once again, same question. What damage has this done? Okay, so think in those terms. I think that's more or less about today's session. You might have noticed that we're picking up speed. So I think going forward, there's going to be many sessions happening. In fact, if you can diarize, 19th of August, we are going to hold a session on SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. And it's going to be a very, very interesting session. So I will, sort of suggest, or rather make sure that all of you join us on this session on 19th of August.
Okay, so do not miss out on such opportunities. There was a very, very important session today as well, and I'm sure most of you missed it. It was on the Punjab Finance Act, and we had the Secretary Finance Punjab with us. We had a very senior representative from the the Punjab Revenue Authority with us. Okay, so and there was ICMAP president there, and a lot of. In fact, the most important thing, all these are senior professionals. Fine, that's all right. Okay, it's good to have them there. But the most important thing, and that was that two individuals from our from our last 6 digits program, they were called in to deliver a presentation before this August gathering on Punjab's Finance Act. So very, very important. And look at the way these individuals have been shaped up, the opportunities that they are getting. I mean, you should be prepared for that. Okay. And I can tell you, you're already started following the footsteps of the previous groups. So that's good to note. I would suggest please make sure that you participate in such sessions. Yeah. Yes, there's a question from Tariq Khan who's saying, why do we have sessions on webinar like we had Punjab Act today? Do we have recorded session from Facebook? Does Facebook sessions count? Okay, let me answer these. The sessions on Facebook are always recorded. Okay, they're always there. It's still lying there. If you go to the ACC Pakistan page, you will be able to see this video again. And I'm going to do that as well, because I was running through interviews, running through sessions at 6 sessions in the morning as well. So these videos are there. Please go back and watch them. Watch them end to end. Very useful conversation. Okay, very, very important for you to understand, what happened there. Do they count as CPDs? I would not bother about, gathering CPDs units from such events. I mean, the knowledge being shared with you is much more important. CPDs तो आपके ये 6 digits program से पूरे हो जाएंगे. In fact, surplus हो जाएंगे. So why are you worried? Okay. Yes, I can tell you we have a bit of an issue with issuing CPD certificates or giving you CPD evidences from the Facebook sessions, the Facebook live sessions. Okay. You can always use a third-party verification if you like. If there's a friend sitting next to you, if there's a colleague in the office who watched you, looking at the complete Facebook live session, you can ask them to issue a letter to you. That's a third-party verification letter. So that can always happen. You can ask your organization, the HR department in your organization, or your line manager to let you watch the session, and in return also share a third-party verification letter as well. Okay. Thank you very much, Fahim Rizvi. It was a top-notch session. Yes, it was. It takes a lot of effort. In bringing those people in. I think bringing in the Secretary Finance Punjab isn't that easy. We were all set for the Finance Minister Punjab, but he was called up for a meeting in Islamabad, and we had to run after the Secretary. So that's very important that why do we do all these things? It's simple. We do it for our members, and end of the story. Right? We do get mileage, we do get reputation build up, enhancement, etc. But why do we do it? We do it for our members, and that's why we want all the members to benefit from these things as well. So I think with that we move on to a conclusion. I am looking into the recorded sessions. I am trying to optimize it as well. Let me look into this today. The sessions are being recorded for sure, yes. I'm going to share the links with you as soon as possible if they're not already coming your way. I'm seeing that there are difficulties. Other people are also talking to me about this. But give us some time. We will get back to you with the recorded sessions. So please don't worry too much about this. That's my promise. Day or two, it will be sorted out. I think that's all about it.
Okay, Adnan has written a rather long comment. How you guys are planning to increase participation? I tried to share the ideas and videos about other activities, but didn't waiting for next session. But indeed, session is so informative, and I know. Well, you can see 1200, and from 1200 down to about 400, right? So, I mean, I would say you should consider yourself fortunate that you're going through this. If somebody had taken the, first of all, somebody had, looked at that email and did not act, that person's loss. If somebody had, registered and did not attend the orientations and the launch sessions, their loss. I can tell you today, there is a session being conducted by ICAP. And if you look at the panelists, they're exactly the same as we had a few days ago. Yeah, so we had Faisal Qamar, and Faisal Qamar is talking at an ICAP session today. We had Sajjad Sayyed, and Sajjad Sayyed in that session. We had Sajjad from packages, and so I mean, that's how close knitted community we are. Okay, please do not miss these opportunities. These are excellent opportunities. Okay, and I can tell you, we started with 15 individuals. We are up to 450. Okay. The content is being delivered effectively. We can see engagement happening. We can see improvement happening. And that is what is most rewarding for us. Okay. So I'm not too worried about participation at this stage. If people are busy in other things, people are not able to participate, I know there will come a time and a day when they will say, we should participate. And I can tell you, I was talking to this individual from our last 6 digits program. His name is Hafiz Suleiman. And he was saying that people were running after me for content, for the content of what was discussed. Please share presentations and slides and notes with us. I can tell you, it is not the presentation, not the slides, not the notes. It's this discussion. It is this discussion through which you learn. Okay. And I can tell you, we've run the session once. This is what benefits you the most. Of course, there are going to be more presentations. Of course, there are going to be case studies, etc. But it is this discussion that benefits you the most. So please remember that. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adnan. Thank you, everybody else who's made a contribution. Looking forward to your engagement on Saturday for the teamwork session. Please come prepared. Please act professionally. Please do a very positive conversation. Everyone should get an opportunity to talk. The good 2 hours, and please make most use of what you have learned in these 2 sessions. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and Allah Hafiz till next time. अब पूछो ये